This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Today's episode of the Doc and Jock Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Athletic, premium coverage for passionate Detroit sports fans. Listeners can save 20% off a yearly subscription by visiting theathletic.com/DSP. I read The Athletic every single day. They're doing great things. They're signing Major League Baseball writers that have been laid off and fired. They do great work. They do in-depth profiles. They take their time, and they get great stories. And it's great to read. A lot of great information regarding the world of Detroit sports. Doc and Jock and all the hosts here are going to recommend that if you're going to read these websites, one of them that should be on your list is The Athletic. No doubt about it, you won't be disappointed. Why pay full price to a subscription? Go visit theathletic.com/DSP to subscribe and save.
Oh my God!
Welcome to episode 17 of the Doc and Jock Wrestling Show. We are here to layeth the smacketh on that candieth asses. So welcome to the Doc and Jock Wrestling Show. I am Adam the Jock Strozinski, and rolling with me always is my favorite cousin. He's the coolest dude you'll ever meet with. You got two eyebrows over there. I am the one who has one eyebrow. He is the Doc John Macaroon. What's going on, Doc?
You know I'm cooler than Braun Strowman singing, right?
Oh, dude, that was the most awesome segment ever.
You know what sucked about that, though, is they delivered. It was great. It was greatly written. Dude messed it up by breaking the instrument. He truly messed it up.
He was playing
great.
It so fierce. Like, that man has no gentle bone in his body.
It was great, and dude can sing. It was funny. It was well-timed. It was great.
Awesome.
And I love the fact that he broke it over Elias's back, and it was an awesome segment.
Dude, it was so great. It was so well put together.
Yes.
We're going to discuss that. We're gonna take a look at the highlights from SmackDown. We're going to give you our verdict on what show was better. And, of course, we've got news notes and a ton of rumor and innuendo. And right now, let's kick this off. You brought it up. So let's just start right there. I loved the entire Elias bit. Elias coming out and basically giving it to the crowd in San Jose. I thought it was awesome. And then a gigantic spotlight opens up, and you see this gargantuan man playing this gargantuan bass guitar. And he's just holding this, like, honestly, this guitar was the size of you and I put together. And he's sitting there holding it, trying to strum it. And he totally broke it. But that didn't stop Braun Strowman's swagger. That guy just kept right on rolling. And he was like, well, I broke that. And then he continues to sing. It was great. It was one of the best segments on all of Raw. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Everybody loved it. I feel like everybody was excited. People were into it, and it's a new way to showcase Braun Strowman. And the part that maybe the little nuance that people kind of liked too was, the announcer said, and now Braun Strowman. And it was great.
It was so great.
Elias too, man. It's like, dude looks like a bona fide star. And I'm like, man, is this the same Elias that was at NXT? No. Each and every week you want to hear what he has to say. The songs are great. The crowd goes from heel to upset to happy throughout the whole thing. And dude, he's over. That's all you can ask for as a wrestler.
So over.
And when he asks, what does WWE mean? The crowd's right there, and it's great.
The moment they sat there and they got on board and started responding with "Walk with Elias,"
it was great.
Dude, he was over. So over. Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to see his evolution, because he went kind of as this guy who you just kind of see in the background of a few skits here and there that were taking place in the back. And now he comes out and he holds the arena's attention. And as a superstar, as somebody who's watching a superstar, that's all you can ask for. I mean, those are things that Stone Cold Steve Austin does. And I'm not comparing Elias to Stone Cold Steve Austin, at least not yet, but he's tracking in that direction. And same thing with Braun Strowman. You've got both of these guys. They're both magnetic personalities that capture the audience, and they have the audience sitting on the edge of their seats when they come out. I absolutely love it. I love it.
Did you like the intro to Raw with the similar angle that we saw years back with John Cena and The Miz? You saw it at last year's WrestleMania. The two have chemistry. They have decent matches. But for me, I said to myself, okay, I understand you're doing these matches to kind of, elevate the Elimination Chamber and talk about the nuance of who's going to come in first and last and who's actually going to be in the Elimination Chamber. I just would say that I wasn't into the open, just me personally, just seeing John Cena and The Miz because they've done a lot of matches together. I would like to see something different.
I thought it was good because you have two guys who are really good at cutting promos and talking and delivering their message.
Yep.
I don't feel like it was forced. A lot of times the opens feel so scripted, so choreographed, so forced upon you. This seemed natural. And you're right. They played a little bit off that heat that they had last year, and they played off some of that heat that they had in the past. And I thought it was a nice build. I thought it was a good way to open the show. And I thought it transitioned well into the match.
What upset me was having John Cena go over on The Miz. It's the year of The Miz.
That was the one thing that I think you could have redid. Yep. If I had a redux, it would have been to have The Miz go over on John Cena.
Yes.
Put John Cena as the first guy in that match. Have him open it up. And if you really want to see him fight his way to whatever championship he's going to, have him be number one there. Don't make The Miz be number one. Have John Cena be number one in this, and have John Cena open up the Elimination Chamber. I think you could have done it so much better if you'd sat there, stopped for a second, and then proceeded in that direction. I thought that would have been the way to go. What'd you think of the Bayley-Sasha Banks match?
Wow. I mean, most people would have assumed that it's Bayley's hometown, but they have chemistry. I felt like it was a great match and one of Bayley's best matches in several months. I thought
Bayley was losing.
Yeah.
I totally thought.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It was her hometown.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wins in their hometown. They always lose. Last time Bayley was in San Jose, she lost.
I think they're incapable of having a bad match. I think that both of these two know how to wrestle each other. They're friends, and they've come up together, so their chemistry is really great, and it's one of those matches that you can put together each and every week, and you can take new wrinkles with it. But how'd you like the ending with Nia Jax kind of destroying both of them? I kind of wanted Sasha Banks to bitch slap Bayley.
I thought that's where we were going.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. I think Nia Jax interfering, I think it kind of puts that off for a little bit later on. Yeah. I think we're going to get that at some point. I think at some point Sasha is going to go full blown heel, and I think it'll be against Bayley. I think that's where the straw will break. But no, I liked it, man. I thought it was good because now you get to further the Nia Jax story as well. You got the Bayley, the Sasha. They had a great match. Sasha's not yet gone full blown heel. She's kind of teetering on that edge. And I think eventually we'll get that. Nia Jax interferes, and she annihilates both of them, and it builds her story without ever incorporating Asuka. It builds her feud with Asuka without you ever having to see Asuka involved. So I thought it was a good creative way to tell a story. I thought it was awesome.
The worst part of Raw for me, the part that I did not like, the part that I highlighted as a negative, was the Mickie James, Alexa Bliss match versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Wasn't into it. I didn't like it. I just felt like the match in and of itself could have been scrapped. I just didn't feel like it did anything to promote anybody, and the match itself wasn't that good. Right.
I agree with you. I think the best part of that match is just the four chicks who were involved are all kind of hot in their own way. And besides eye candy, it didn't do anything for me. It really didn't.
Right.
I don't know who this was supposed to get over. I don't know how it was supposed to get anybody over. In the end, it was not a very good match. It seemed to fall very flat. At this point, it makes Alexa Bliss look weaker as a champion, I think. Doesn't help Mickie James out, and it doesn't help Sonya Deville nor Mandy Rose out. So I don't know.
I liked the Sheamus Roman Reigns match a lot.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was like really, if you're a wrestling fan, you remember back in 2015, these two would battle back and forth quite a bit. And so to see it again, it was a great match. I felt like they both were working really hard, near falls all over the place. And obviously Roman Reigns winning, I felt like, well, you had a chance. You could have elevated Sheamus, but he held his own. And that's why you remember Sheamus was a world champion. This dude was a really hot commodity as a singles wrestler. And dude now hitting his 40s, he's in his prime and he's looking good. And the match itself was, I thought, quality.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. It was physical,
yeah,
hard hitting. You had two guys who can carry their own no matter what the crowd says. I love this match. I thought it was great. I think Roman Reigns is great in the ring. I think Sheamus, when he is operating on full cylinders, I think he is outstanding. I think sometimes he borders on being a little bit dangerous in the ring because I've seen so many guys get hurt at his hands. But with a guy like Roman Reigns, he is so durable. they both can really get in there and just almost like that strong style that New Japan gives to you. These guys can really go at it with each other, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very physical, hard-hitting match.
What's your thought on the reigning tag team champions, wrestling in a singles match and losing? Because people will say, well, does it devalue the tag team when he goes out there and loses a singles match? I feel like I understand the concept, but maybe what you do is when you have those scenarios in which tag team champion fights, maybe you just have the losing tag team member, his tag team partner go in and interfere and cause a DQ or things like that. Because I don't like to see the tag team champions lose in a singles match.
I don't think it lessens the
reign.
Yeah, I think it's okay, especially when you look at it's Sheamus versus Roman Reigns. Either one of these guys could lose to each other. And I don't think that they're any worse for wear. I think both those guys individually have elevated themselves to that level where you can take a loss or you can give a win, and it's not going to hurt you or it's going to necessarily elevate you one way or the other. I think in the end, because of the level that they're on right now, they come out pretty much worse. They come out better for just the match itself. Putting on the good match, I think they come out in a much better spot.
And so the biggest theme of Monday Night Raw, I think the biggest development and the biggest angle that kind of played out over the course of the 3 hours was Seth Rollins coming out when Angle was making his determinations and his special announcements. He comes out and says, look, I want one more shot at Brock Lesnar at Mania. I want to be the guy one more time. I want to get back to that level where I was a couple of years back.
I want to be Raw.
I want to be Raw. And so Kurt Angle asked the crowd, look, do you want to add Seth Rollins to the mix at the end for the second chance match at the end of Raw? Show me what you got. And the crowd was into it. And then the final main event was very interesting the way it played out. I was very much enthralled in that matchup. I felt like it was a great match. Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, Bray Wyatt, Woken Matt Hardy, Seth Rollins, Fatal 5-Way. It was a great matchup. I thought the ending was cool. Interesting ending where you have Seth Rollins and Finn Balor both pinning Bray Wyatt 1, 2, 3. You end the show there wondering who is going to be the guy that's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Now, I feel like creative then dropped the ball by, look, you still got a week before the Elimination Chamber. You just hype it up for a week. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Winner gets in. No, instead, you know what? They just say, we're just going to add Seth Rollins. We're going to add Finn Balor. They're both in it. Now we're going to have 7 dudes in the Elimination Chamber. I felt like, you know what? 6 would have been fine. Just have the payoff. You set it up perfectly, dunk the ball, and have Finn Balor and Seth Rollins relive a great rivalry from SummerSlam. They would have a great match, a week of build-up. You could have done a lot with that, and I think they dropped the ball. But overall, I liked the way it played out over the course of the 3 hours.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show, and I thought the way it ended was pretty spectacular. And you're right. I think having a week to build towards a pay-per-view, this would have been a great go-home match. You have Seth battling Finn, and
winner
the winner
gets
in.
Yeah.
I think it would have been great. Instead, you're right. They come out and they say, you know what? Both of these guys are going to get a pass to the Elimination Chamber, and I'm okay with that. It's just one of those things where
you think the Elimination Chamber is going to be epic?
I don't know if it's going to be epic. I think it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
I just think with Finn and Seth, you had a chance for WWE booking and creative to do better.
Okay.
And that's the biggest issue I always have with WWE creative is you can do better. It's like you come to a fork in the road and you can go left or you can go right. And if you go left, it's kind of safe. It's going to be okay. If you go right, it has the chance to maybe blow up in your face, but it also has the chance to be so freaking awesome. You could have just done it this way, and instead they always go left instead of going right. And that's usually my issue with it.
Okay, now switching gears to SmackDown. Very interesting start. Heel on heel action. You have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They disrupt Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin, who were supposed to have a match. Owens and Sami Zayn do not want anybody added to the match, and so they go out there and they pull a boss move. They destroy Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. Interesting start.
Yeah, heel on heel on heel on heel heat here.
Interesting, I like that.
Just guys just crushing other guys who the crowd absolutely hates.
Yeah.
So I thought this was good. I thought it was great. I thought it was an awesome way to open up the show. You got Dolph just basically waiting in the ring, waiting for Baron to come out, and then they cut to the back, and he's just getting annihilated. And then next thing you know, Sami and Kevin come out, and they take care of Dolph. And then Baron attempts to come out, and he gets taken care of by Kevin and Sami. So I thought this was a great way to open up the show. Again, you don't have your 20-minute monologue where you got guys cutting promos. You're right into the action.
Finally, yes.
And I thought this was an awesome way to get right into the action, and it was a story that was weaved throughout the show. And it had impact on what is going to happen going forward with the pay-per-view.
And then what made it awesome was Baron Corbin comes back, has a match with Kevin Owens, and Baron Corbin looked the best he's ever looked. Great match. You put him over. It was great. Felt like what a way to use Kevin Owens to put over Baron Corbin. I thought it was a great match. One of my favorite segments was that match, Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin. I like that. Baron Corbin goes over clean. The two things I did not like about SmackDown, Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan. I just felt like, not a match I was into. I was kind of dragging to me. I felt like it was, And then an opportunity where I was teased, and then they didn't pay it off, where Bobby Roode has the U.S. Open Challenge, and who answers it? It's the Viper. Yes, I'm ready. I want to see this match. I think it's going to be a great U.S. title matchup. I think it could have been awesome. No. You interrupt it with Jinder Mahal.
That's your boy, though.
I didn't like, though, the fact that you teased Viper versus Bobby Roode, and then you have Jinder Mahal kind of dragging the segment on with kind of complaining like, oh, I'm higher than you in the ranking and da-da-da-da. So you tease a match I wanted, and then you don't deliver, and the match never started. So I didn't like that at all. I felt like that was the low light of SmackDown was Jinder Mahal. I mean, literally, you could have did it beforehand. Why tease it where you could have just, if you want to do a promo, you could have had Randy saying, I want to come out and do some things against Bobby, and then Jinder interrupt. Yeah. You didn't have to tease the matchup. That's the reason why I hate it. I mean, it's okay, fine. You're setting up a spot for Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, but I didn't want Bobby Roode to be at the expense of seeing the Glorious One. You cannot have that guy on the roster and not have a match every week.
Yeah. I agree with you. Look, it would have been awesome to have Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton.
It looked cool, right?
It was tracking in the direction of being an epic match, and then Jinder interfered. And it totally felt like he brought it down. And not so much that he brought it down because of his promo, it just, you didn't need to interfere there.
Yeah.
You really didn't. You could have let these two start a little bit of a dust up, let these two kind of get into it. And then as the match is going on, if you want to insert Jinder, go ahead and insert him there. Let him be the one who breaks it up and is the reason why this match is DQ'd. And then we can do something next week with these three guys. It was tracking in the direction of being something awesome with Randy Orton and Bobby Roode. And it just seemed like it never quite got off the ground because Jinder came out and did whatever it was.
What do you make of how WWE and SmackDown are handling the title picture? I mean, it's crowded. It's cluttered. Okay, It was a three-way match. Then it was supposed to be Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin to make it a four-way match. Well, because of the interference, now there's going to be 5 people in the title match. And I'm like, I hated it at 3. I really hated it at 4. Now you're making it 5. I mean, okay, if we get great matches like Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn and different weavings of, the 5 guys in the coming weeks, fine, I guess. You explain a little bit why Dolph Ziggler relinquished the U.S. title. He wants to be the headliner of WrestleMania, and he wants to go on and be the champion. But to have 5 dudes wrestle for the title, I mean, come on. Seriously, that's just it. I love the match at the end. The main event was great, A+ for me, but I don't like the storyline. I mean, 5 dudes in a cluttered scene trying to win the title.
I think it gets messy because...
You could have had a tournament. You could have just had seriously. It's not hard.
You could have did
all
that.
These guys could have had a tournament over the next 4 weeks. And AJ Styles could just wrestle and do some things. But to have this get so messy, it's like, okay, you know what? There's 5 dudes that could be... There might be 6. There might be 7. Jinder might want to get in. Who else are you going to invite? You want Rusev to be in it? Who else? You want Sheldon Gable to be in it? What are you going to have? You know what? AJ Styles is going to have the world record.
It's going to be a battle royal.
Yeah, AJ Styles is going to have a battle royal match, and he's got to win. He's got to be the last man standing in order to walk away the champion.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
I really wouldn't be surprised. You're absolutely right. Look, I didn't like it when it was a handicap match. I didn't like it when it was a fatal. What was it?
Fatal 4-way.
Fatal 4-way, or
fatal 5-way.
It was a triple threat match. I didn't like it, and now it's a what is it? It's a fatal 5-way match.
It might end up being a stupid 6-way.
I don't because, and the worst part is. It's all heels.
Yeah.
It's all heels, and then you've got AJ Styles. So you've got 4 guys who are supposed to be disliked by the crowd going up against your best guy. If AJ Styles comes out of this, not even if, when AJ Styles comes out of this, because he's going to win his title, he's going to retain his belt, he must be the most epic WWE champion of all time then, right? Because he just beat your alpha heel in Kevin Owens with his butt boy, Sami Zayn. And then he beat Dolph Ziggler and the guy who you're grooming to be the alpha heel, Baron Corbin. So he just beat 4 of your top, 7 heels in your promotion? So AJ Styles must be your best guy ever then.
Yeah.
When this is all said and done, you must raise a banner to whatever rafters are in whatever stadium that this is taking place, and it must say, AJ Styles, the Don of all Dons, he is the WWE Universal Champion. That's what it's got to be. So you're right. I don't like the direction that we're tracking here for Fastlane. I think it's going to be interesting, though, because I think as this goes on, you're going to have this fatal 5-way, and there's got to be something else that comes out of it. There's got to be more to it. It can't just be AJ Styles retaining. There's got to be some type of a payoff here, whether it be with Dolph Ziggler becoming a face, or whether it be with Sami Zayn becoming, I don't need to see Sami Zayn become a face. Maybe Kevin Owens becomes a face. I don't know. There's got to be a payoff somewhere in this match to make it worthwhile, because just AJ Styles retaining is not the payoff for me. And I don't need to see him lose his strap to any one of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Is that making sense?
Yeah, 100%.
It just, I don't need any of that. I don't know. I thought the Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn match was really good. Just like you said, I thought the Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens match was really, really good. And I thought that really helped move the show along. And I think that really helped set SmackDown up, because those programs were weaved throughout the show. And it wasn't until the very, very end that I realized we never had an AJ Styles sighting.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
It was a really good show, and you didn't need AJ Styles there to carry it.
Yeah, it was good.
And I thought that was something that was awesome.
Which show was
about the
better,
show.
in your opinion, Raw or SmackDown this week?
I think Raw by the narrowest of margins.
Yep. I thought Raw all the way around. Their moments were higher. Their low moments weren't as bad. I felt like SmackDown dropped the ball a little bit with their situation. I felt like they got a little bit lazy. Both shows were really entertaining. Like I said, narrowest of margins, but I agree with you 100%. I had Raw on my sheet.
All right. You want news, notes, and some rumors?
Hit me with the news, notes, and rumors.
All right. So Vince McMahon has stepped down from 205 Live. He's now allowing Triple H to take over as the showrunner.
205 Live, the cruiserweights.
That's right.
Oh, hey now.
So it's believed that you'll see Trips gain more and more control as the XFL gets closer to launching in 2020. It's also believed that Hunter is already putting a team together down in NXT. So don't be surprised to see 205 Live take on more of that NXT feel, and to see more like the Cruiserweight Classic that was done. I think this is going to be very, very good for 205 Live. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but I think it's going to put more emphasis on wrestling, less on guys like Enzo Amore, and less on having the show run through 1 or 2 guys. I think it's going to put more emphasis on wrestling, and more emphasis with storyline being a background effect and an additive. So I think that'll be cool. Dolph Ziggler, again, we've discussed him. He is back in WWE after what was described as him being mere moments away from walking away from WWE. What it sounds like is WWE gave him a sweetheart deal where he is being described as being paid a huge contract that will allow him to come and go to his matches, so he doesn't have to hang around in the back all day long, and he's allowed to take outside projects as long as they don't interfere with his current schedule for WWE. Now, Dolph Ziggler is working on he wants to do some comedy, some stand-up comedy, and that's kind of his big deal right now. So he can do whatever he wants to do as long as it doesn't necessarily interfere with WWE. Now, Samoa Joe, haven't seen him for a while. He's been dealing with that bit of a foot injury, and that foot injury sounds to be worse than originally thought. It's believed he's going to miss WrestleMania 34.
Oh.
So yeah, that's not good. Sticking with WrestleMania 34, though, it sounds like Goldberg may be coming back to the ring, and it sounds like he may win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. At least that's what's being pitched and discussed right now. The thought is he can go in, win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Right now, you've got Bill Simmons working on the Andre the Giant documentary that's supposed to be coming out in association with WWE. The thought process is shine a little bit more light on the Andre the Giant Battle Royal by having a bigger name like Goldberg come in and win it. So I don't know. The Battle Royal is supposed to be the launching pad for that next guy, that guy who's supposed to come in and kind of take WWE by storm. Hasn't really worked out that way, especially with guys like Baron Corbin winning it. Just hasn't really worked out. Thought process is, let's put Bill Goldberg in there and let's shine some more light on this with that, and let's just hopefully it becomes pretty cool. It's expected that Bobby Lashley will be back in WWE sometime after WrestleMania.
Been hearing that. Okay.
It sounds like he will jump into a program with Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
And I think that'll be kind of cool because you'll have two MMA guys, two wrestlers kind of going back and forth. And I think that'll be pretty cool. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I like Bobby Lashley. I feel like the first go-around, he was underutilized. I think he's honed his craft now. He's done his thing. And obviously, a lot of people are looking to get back into WWE right now. Business is good. You're always looking for new opponents for Brock Lesnar. You have to take the opportunities when you can. I mean, Brock Lesnar right now, I'm ready for a Brock Lesnar-Braun Strowman program. 2-3 months, back and forth, both getting wins, and then maybe capping it off at SummerSlam. That's the way I would look at it, but if you're looking for new blood for Brock Lesnar, no harm in Bobby Lashley. Why not?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be good. Let those guys... Plus, those guys tend to work better, shorter matches.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good. I think that'll be awesome. Starting May 6th, after the Backlash show, it is being discussed that all pay-per-views will become co-branded shows.
Meaning where they can wrestle each other, or meaning that each show will just have matches on there? The pay-per-views will just be culmination of storylines from each show with Raw and SmackDown.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it'll be...
I like that.
It'll be Raw and SmackDown.
Do you feel like this just kind of the way they're going to do this from now on is just kind of every couple years they'll just separate it out, bring it back together? Isn't that kind of how it's kind of gone?
That's kind of how it has gone.
Why are they doing it? What's the theory behind it?
Because of down ticket sales, down viewership. The thought process is if you take the best of both and put them on pay-per-views, you can generate
more people are going to watch. More people
exactly.
are going to watch it.
So that's kind of the idea.
Smart.
There.
I mean, that's why I don't understand brand splits. I think that I understand that you can run more shows, but just run more shows. I think I saw a financial number that although money was up, merchandise sales were down, people were spending a little bit less money. And the reason is just so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got so many wrestlers, so much merchandise. Dude, how long are you going to try and tap everybody for their money? I mean, there's only so many fans that buy
There's so
stuff.
much content, man.
Too much stuff.
At some point,
right.
you got to, I think, start dialing it back a little bit.
Do you see how much? I think they ran like 15% more shows last year. I think they ran 40 more shows.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do that.
They ran a lot more shows last year than in years past, but the money wasn't exactly didn't commiserate with that.
Have your big four.
Yeah.
And then do a couple one-offers for Raw and for SmackDown.
No, I'm talking about live shows too. Shows.
It's way too much content.
Way too much.
Way too much.
Way too many shows.
I mean, look,
and it's
man,
expensive.
Me and you have to watch so much wrestling, so we
Yeah.
can come and we can discuss this very topic right here.
It's a lot.
It's way too much.
Sometimes it requires you to take a step back and say, you know what? At the expense of these athletes' health, you're getting some marquee guys out. You just got to scale it back a little bit. Take 2-3 weeks off in December and let everybody recharge and miss it because, it does look like they're dialing back because business is good. They're making money. They're making money because it's an international company. But at the same time, in terms of merchandise, it's like, dude, that's why you see all the sales, 20, 30% off. You see things that are telling you that, hey, people aren't buying as much. It's just too much.
It's just too much. So, hot topic last week was Booker T and Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Well, Booker T has come out and revealed on his show with Corey Graves that it was all a work and it was not real.
Gotcha.
So they had you basically sitting on your fingertips and sitting on the edge of your seats for about a week, and then they came out and they unveiled it was a work.
You said that is this potentially a work? It kind of sounds like it the way it was going. So they revealed it. How was the interview? Was it good?
I didn't have a chance to listen to the interview. Just read a few things here and there that it was a work.
Okay.
So I'll let you know if I get a chance to listen to it.
Breaking news that just came across the wire on our Twitter page. Roman Reigns going to be in Detroit.
Yeah.
When is he coming?
Was it March 3rd? March 3rd,
Saturday.
He'll be at the Autorama
in Cobo Hall. So it'll be interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Go check out Roman Reigns. And over the weekend, it's kind of disappointing for me in that, Eric Bischoff, the NWO, the Outsiders were literally 2 miles away from me. I just couldn't go because that's my busiest day. And again, those ticket models are really tough. You got to pay $40 to get in and then $40 per autograph.
That's nuts.
So you'd have to basically, if you want an autograph and you wanted to go, it would cost you about $100.
That'd be crazy.
But it was cool to see that they were in town.
That'd be cool, though.
Bruce Pritchett was in town. I guess I got to pay attention more to M Live and their entertainment because they had their guy out there interviewing everybody. So maybe next year when they come in, and I think it was called Astronomicon, when it comes back to Sterling Heights, maybe I'll check it out and get a pass to go It'll be cool.
I mean, maybe we can write that off as a business expense or something.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll have to get that figured
No,
out.
I would have loved to have Bruce Pritchard in here because literally he could have just, bought him dinner and come in here. We could have shot the breeze for a couple hours.
That'd been awesome.
That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah,
But-
that'd totally be awesome.
Very good podcast, sir. So overall, it's a good week of wrestling, right?
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
You got more.
Before we go, Rey Mysterio will be making his New Japan debut
Ah.
as he takes on Jushin Thunder Liger at the Strong Style Evolve show in Long Beach, California on March 25th, 2018. That you can see on Access TV. That will be aired live. And former WWE Women's Wrestler Emma, she made her debut in Ring of Honor as she is competing in the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Championship Tournament. And now we can go.
Let's get out of here. Great wrestling podcast. Thank you so much for finding it. Each and every Friday, we'll break it down. We're a bunch of wrestling fans. We love it. We watch each and every show. We watch things on WWE. We watch things on the Pop Network. We watch Impact. We watch everything. And so if you like what you're listening to and you're watching Raw, SmackDown, you're watching anything cool in the world of wrestling, shoot us a tweet at Detroit Podcast each and every Wednesday live. Podcast Detroit Network, our friends at the Breaking Down the Ring podcast. You want to find them on Twitter at BDRcast. They go with the notion that they're the most inappropriate wrestling podcast. No doubt about it. I listen every week. They are the most inappropriate wrestling podcast, but it's really cool. They do it live every Wednesday, Podcast Detroit Network. Follow our crew and our friends, Mikey over there at the Breaking Down the Ring podcast at BDRcast for all the fun and hijinks there. Let's get out of here because my voice is now gone.
It's gone.
See ya. See everybody next week.
Welcome to the corner of... Oh, damn it. I totally forgot it. What was it? The corner of SmackDown? What is the corner of... Ah, damn it. Let's start this over. I totally jacked it up.